Tuesday, June 18th. Hello everyone, Brian here. Today I'm going to give you an update on our tomato plants. And I've been mostly radio silent because I've been working on a couple of infrastructure related projects. One is to continue setting up automated irrigation for this area and then the area in front. And then the other thing is I've been working on enclosing this back corner so that our rabbit can be in there 24/7 and we don't have to worry about predators. As it stands right now, at nighttime I will put her in the hutch so that she can be safe. So by enclosing this entire back corner, that would be very convenient for all of us, including the rabbit. And this is one of those complicated projects where the back corner affects how we have access to installing our irrigation. And then it also affects how we're able to frame up the enclosure. And the first step was to start adding retaining blocks so that we can move the slope back. Owen's on summer break, so he's making a rare cameo. By putting the blocks, we can push the angle of the slope back. We have a nice flat area, and then we can start locating some of the valves that I want to put back here away from the garden and also away from a lot of foot traffic. So been busy with that. And also with that, let's get back to the point of our video today, which is our tomato update. Here we have a very bushy San Marzano plant, and I haven't been training it, meaning I haven't been limiting the number of lateral growth or suckers. So this is going to be a very bushy plant, and it may mean that we are going to get smaller tomatoes. Normally there would be 3 plants here, but a tortoise got in here, moved this wire, and the chickens scratched out a couple of plants. So we may see fewer tomatoes, the San Marzano, this year. And then when we swing over on this side, we have the Oxheart tomato and the Amish paste tomato. So there's 2 Oxheart plants, and it looks like they're making smaller fruit this year. We've been getting a lot of May gray and June gloom. The last 2 years have been a lot of overcast, so it's been challenging to grow larger tomatoes as a result. And then you'll notice that there is a lot of blight on the plant. It looks bad, but as far as fruit quality and production, it's not really affected. At this point this year, we're going to get one harvest, probably one big harvest, and then the plant will be done. In good years, we might get 2 harvests in Southern California, especially for the larger tomatoes. And with regard to blight, this is just a usability issue with the panel in the back and then the corn in the front. It's very difficult for me to water in a way that I'm not splashing onto the stem and getting it wet. And also the gloomy weather has allowed for blight to grow. So a couple adjustments we're going to make next year, which is to really watch how the weather is and really reduce that number of watering. Here we have some Amish paste on this side, and then we're starting to see some color on the Oxheart tomato. And then we're going to go back across where we have most of our tomatoes growing. And in this middle bed here, we have a couple of Costaluto Genovese plants growing. Last year we had 3, and it produced more than we can handle. We were giving them away in buckets. So we have 2 plants now, and with these 2 plants, they're pretty productive as well. And last year it was pretty much your typical pole tomato in climates outside of California, where they kept producing. For many of the varieties for us, they're, like I had mentioned, they're a one and done type of crop. As we enter in this space, we have a couple Principe Borghese tomato plants. And these are paste tomatoes that are cherry size. They're usually first to ripen along with the Costaluto Genovese because we plant them early. We start the seeds early. And this year we're noticing that they're a little bit behind. So let's take a closer look at the Costoluto Genovese. These are paste tomatoes. They can be used as slicing tomatoes. And we got some color on that one. These are already ripened, got some spider webs on those. And I found that tomatoes, if you're able to let them stay on the vine, they stay longer than in the fridge. So for us, we're able to do that, leave them on the vine and get them when we need them. Here we have a new to us variety. This is a 10 Fingers of Naples, and it looks very similar to a San Marzano, although I'm noticing that they're much further along than the San Marzano. So this is a good variety to have if we're going to be doing some succession harvests. And then next to it are some Cherokee purple. You can see the color coming in. And then next to the Cherokee purple, we have a couple of plants of the Blue Beech. And these are large tomatoes typically. They're pound-sized tomatoes typically. Here's the largest one we got. So next year, I'll be watching the weather forecast, and I think we need to start these a little bit longer because along with the oxheart, they really love the heat. They need the heat to get big. And when it comes to tomato planting, we want to time it perfectly so that we catch that crest, just like surfing. You want to catch the wave. If you get that, you'll have a nice harvest. In these Vago planters, we have some Sun Gold tomatoes along with the Black Prince. And again, this area doesn't get as much sun typically, and you combine that with a lot of May Gray and June Gloom, and it just doesn't mean, it means that we're not going to see a lot of large tomatoes out of it. And the blight hit us as well too because of that weather. Okay, let's go out to the front where we have a couple more varieties growing. And that is, what are they? Mortgage Lifter and Beefsteak. So we got a lot of things growing, and today we're just going to be focusing on tomatoes. And just by focusing on tomatoes, there's quite a bit to share. We got our corn out here. It's time for the 4th of July. We got some potatoes down there. They're looking great. Last gem corn are sprouting. And then here is where we have some beefsteak tomatoes. And they're ripening as well too. This plant didn't put on too much foliage, so I had to come in and cover it with some grass here, straw, to protect the plant from the sun, because the last few days when the sun came out is very intense. And that's to prevent the actual tomato itself from getting sun scald. And we have one more variety. Oh, I forgot, we do have a couple more varieties actually. We have the Martino's Roma that's growing right there, so we'll look at it in a second. First, I want to show you the Mortgage Lifter, which is growing over here. And I had planned on actually doing a better job at training it. I was going to put some maybe braided cable here and train it horizontally, but right now it's just growing natural, wild. So we got some very good sized tomatoes down there. And then let's go look at the Martino's Roma. This is the bush tomato, and they make the typical paste tomatoes that are very standard that you would find at the market, the Roma tomato. So this is one type of Roma tomato. Let's look at it from the sidewalk and see. And I think we have 3 plants in here. And it's nestled between a dahlia plant over there to the left, and we got some pineapple sage to the right. And it's spreading out and covering this entire space. And so those are our tomato plants and how they're growing. The beefsteak is just very productive this year. So we got one plant has got clusters over there and over there. And then as far as this space and irrigation, I've added more lines and changed out some things. So we have valves that we can shut off sections at a time so we don't overwater. And then we added a couple additional 1/4-inch tubing out here to irrigate this row here. Then we have a middle row, and then we have a new row down there. You can see little tufts. Those are more glass gem corn that we have growing. And with that, we're going to conclude our tomato update. I hope your tomatoes are growing well. And we're in June now, so maybe the sun will come out. This might be a second year of May gray, June gloom, and then just overcast July, whatever we want to call that with a J. Yeah, so I'll see you in the next video. I'm going to continue on working on the irrigation as well as framing up that back corner. And until the next video, we'll probably look at peppers, because we have a lot of peppers that we're growing, and they're coming in at this time. Thanks again for joining us, and I'll see you in the next video.